So guys, it's Keeps going back to the crap video. We're back, it's been a while. What's everyone been up to? Anyone excited for some game releases? Fucking Pomegalulgas. We're playing Cata, which you probably didn't think was going to happen. And then a certain game is delayed. And here we are. Oh shit. Like, these are the most dangerous mobs in the dungeon. Like, if they get the Fire Clown Fiesta off, like, it just absolutely destroys you. Like, I have fucking 150 fire vests. Oh, kick. It's hard to keep my control going. Oh, we'll talk about the Repack and like the how to set it up and macros at the end, I guess. If I don't do something, it's because I can't be fucked. Or I just don't know. Most likely I just can't be fucked. Because when you play this game, like, if you think I have any idea like what's happening on the screen, like, it's all a mistake. But like, when you play this game, Blizzard just has your balls like this. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, why would you want to play a game where Blizzard just has... Oh shit, we forgot to refresh voices. Reset this. Everyone stand. We then do this. Did I already say we took all the skills off our bar just to mix everyone off? So we just play it without any skills on the bar. Like, that's how it is. Like, we've lost all visual muscle memory of this game. Like, everything just hurts my eyes, man. Like, everything on the screen just hurts my eyes. We're still dying a bit because the amount of dust that you breathe in the desert is fucking insane, man. You could be drinking.
Charging.
So just before we go to the boss, I just want to break down the boss strategy. Like, when the fight starts, I'm going to be pressing 1. When the fight continues, like, I'm going to keep pressing 1. If the fight gets pretty intense, like, I might start pressing 1 faster than normal. But it doesn't actually make a difference because the game's locked in 1.5 second GSPs. So, like, this is what I'm doing to play the game, by the way. Ready for this? Some sweetness. Let's start blasting. He's gonna do the thing. So it's a waste of cooldowns. Chains. Sometimes the chain spawns like out of range, man. He's a fucking cheater, man. fuckers, man. Oh shit. Oh, the warrior's dead. Yeah, that's some fuckers, man. I don't think my heal macro fully works. Like, the macro is too Why did we aggro some random mobs, man? That's fucking bullshit. Oh, we can cool down still. I think it's just the hunter auto shot, like, or the pet, like, it just starts attacking someone. That one's usually pretty easy, but we just aggro extra mobs. And our reward? A dog shit fucking shield, man. Fucking poggers, man. No, we're actually lying. Like, we don't just press 1, we press 2, because 2 is our thunder key. So, like, you start off, you start pressing 2. And then you switch to 1. Say this is not the first run of this dungeon because we didn't know if anything would even work, because it's after Wrath of the Lich King, like, development just stopped on everything basically, so there was no guarantee that this would even work. This is the hardest part in the game. Like, these guys, like, if all 3 of them turn on the fucking merry-go-round of flaming death, like, we just die in like 2 seconds. But we have a technique that we use. We need to just face this way because
I don't have a target.
pressing keys can just cause bad shit. So we park everyone up here. Then we get into grab range. Then this guy comes here. Wait, not this guy. Puts down a frost trap. Then you grab someone into a frost trap. Then we wait for these clowns to get over here. And if anyone does this, we try to kill it. Like, I don't know what people are smoking when they say, like, the damage on these surveillators is the same as classic. But it's like half. Like, the damage here is like double or more. Like, if those 3 things go off, it kills me in 3 seconds, man. You watch people play on thing, like, they don't even do anything. Like, nothing does damage, man. We're gonna do the same thing again. So we get into grab range. He puts down one of these frosties. Do a grab. Ah, shit. Does it still go off if he's frosted? Run. Run. We might have to do aura buff. Cold flames, that's a kick. Like, when all this shit comes up on the screen, my eyes just fucking hurt, man. Like, lots of things cause my eyes to hurt. Like, especially when I see, like, We're not in the mood for Clown Fiesta right now. We need mana. Did we refresh the fucking... Poisson? Just grab some mana real quick. Fucking poggers, man. Like, I don't know if I already said this. I don't think PoE 2 is delayed because of that database issue. Like, I think that's a lie. I could say way more toxic shit, but like, it doesn't really matter. But like, it's been 6 years now. Like, Path of Exile Con 1 was fucking 6 years ago, man. Like, think about, like, developer fatigue. And like that, even if that database thing is real, like, it's their choice. Like, it's a new product. You shouldn't... It's like when they said they would combine the 2 games into one. Like, that's never gonna work. So for this boss, we run in, park the healer here, and then go over here. But like the things of the beams are a bit... Where's the healer? It's hard to like block the beam AoE, like I don't think it works properly. When you enable broadcasting, which we have to check us on this. Cooldowns, let's go. Oh, we haven't even checked our stacks. I can't even see my stacks. Well, I guess that guy's alive. Someone died. How the fuck did he end up over there? Well, that was a fuck up, but... Why are there mobs over there, man? For some reason, Captain Dumbass ended up over there. Not very much mobs. Why are there 3 mobs here? Where's the hunter? Yeah. I don't know why he ended up over there. Our reward? Dog shit. Dog shit one. This dungeon's full of like int gear and fucking... Oh, we never handed in the quest, man. Because we started it... Ah, shit. We're gonna save the quest for the recording, but when you do that, it doesn't pop up and you forget. Check our damage. Excellent, eh? We've had people just aggro other shit and get themselves killed, but that's not my fault, man. Like, I'm just... Like, if the hunter's gonna just pull random mobs, like... Are these supposed to be targetable? I don't think so, right? This is just a... You don't have to kill any of these, but like... You just randomly target shit. And aggro it, like these two fuckers. This thing absolutely shreks you, by the way. Like on live, they literally just face naked. It does 0 damage. Me with fucking 150 or 300 fire res, it kills me in like 2 seconds. What's the deal with these guys aggroing the fucking... stuck in combat. Does that even work? Player not found. Why is it player not found? Fuck. What if I just teleport into Obsidian? Can't do that while fighting. I'm fucking GM, man. Fuck you, man. He's still in combat? He's still in combat, man. Fuck you, man. What is this bullshit? Why am I in combat? How are you not in this server just doing commands. It doesn't really fuck. Don't usually aggro. God. Damn it. Let's just check something real quick. Like, why is he in combat, man? That just pisses me off, man. Yep. Now we go down here, but we have no mana. We have no mana and we have no way of exiting combat. So Captain Dumbass... Wait, we can kill this thing first. This one doesn't aggro for whatever reason. The other one does. But if you try to kill that other ad, fuck, that's just gonna piss me off. Can't do that while fighting. Bro, I'm fucking GM, man. It's so fucking rigged, man. I have to teleport in to Captain Dumbass.
It's still recharging.
Drink in Ogrima fucking PLAI. Because he's stuck in combat for no reason. Fuck you, man. I got some combat right here, bro. Do you think he can escape this combat? I don't know why, but if you try to kill this thing first, you just have a bad time. And she's like knocking you all over the place the whole time. And it's just a bad time. You're getting feared and shit, it's just fun. And she just eventually starts one-shotting people, I don't know why. But if you just target her first, it's fine. Like so. That was the DiMaggio's. It doesn't even remember it because we've been stuck in combat, so it thinks this whole thing is one fight. Another piece of shitty fucking int gear. Fucking poggers. Fucking poggers, man. It's almost over though. I think it's easier to go this way. We have no mana. We have no mana. We can't get mana back because we're stuck in combat. Fucking OMEGALUL. Then we run down here and he aggroes the boss, so like you have no time. Oh, Captain Dumbass is stuck in combat. Fucking. This has never happened, by the way. Like we've done this dung. A few times. We've never been stuck in combat, man. Fuck you, man. Holy shit! I'm dying. While this is going on, check this. Excelente. GM off. Appear Geek War. GM off. Rough up. Now we can just run through here. Captain Dumbass appears. And then the fight just starts sometimes. Sometimes he doesn't even kill all of them. I don't know if it's a bug, but like Sunder seems to like fall off. I don't know why. Where'd Captain Dumbass go? Stop. Like, do mobs have cleanse or is it a bug? Excelente! That's it. Oh, we got the boy. That's a poggers, man. Because he's a fucking treble. 380 from 320. Wait, no. 280 to 380, man. That's a massive upgrade. Fucking actual poggers. That's a fucking int shoulders. Fucking poggers, man. DPS goes from 1345 to 1488. Insane upgrade. Insane. Well, there you have it. Blackrock Caverns in Cata. It does work. That was a pretty shit run. Like a couple of fights we just aggroed extra mobs. And multiple people got themselves killed. And then the healer got stuck in combat for the entire dungeon and couldn't get mana back. So it's not usually, it goes better than that. But that's it. So I guess we go through the macros and the server. You can't see anything unless it's on this window, right? So we'll have to switch to the window. But on this one, so obviously we're using a lure unlocker, and you cannot use, as always, you cannot use cast spell by name without unlocking lure. The same lure unlocker we've been using still works, Zebra, which I'll link, but Zebra doesn't work. It only works on the 32-bit client, because in Cata they released a 64-bit client, and if you search like Cata client download from like a private server website or whatever, it comes with the 64-bit client, which Zebra won't work on. It just doesn't detect it. So you have to find a client pack that has the 32-bit client, or you can't unlock the lure, and then you can't use macros. So then we're using BindPad, because after vanilla 1.12 they locked the API, so development on macro add-ons stopped because there's no reason to do it anymore. So in TBC we found this thing called BindPad, because the issue is obviously in these default macros you got 255 characters, which is just fuck all. So you needed something to be able to write longer macros, and we found this thing called BindPad. So BindPad binds macros to keys. You can see, and that's why you can have no skills on your bar, because key 1 triggers a macro. That's just to piss everyone off, right? And oh, this is going to be like tiny on the screen. Should we just swap to Notepad++ and put that on the screen, because it's just hard to read. Otherwise, if I do this, what's going to happen? Desktop? Oh shit. So this is like your 1 key, so just DPS. So start attack, the old classic. Now, every version of WoW, the API changes, and it can be hard to find which API you're trying to figure out. So in Cata, the API got better. So to detect unit buffs, remember that bullshit we had to do? Like it was like a while loop? In Cata, you can just do unit buff, target, and the name of the buff equals nil, then cast it. So this is just, if you don't have Horn of Winter, cast Horn of Winter. If you don't have Bound Shield, cast Bound Shield, and it's on cooldown. Because we sometimes put this in, because if you have a cast that can go off, it can like break, it like uses your turn of the macro. So sometimes if you don't have this, the macro runs, it gets to here and it keeps trying to cast something and it ignores the rest of the macro. Then we have automatic death grip. So is action in range 37. This is a right action bar. We don't have it on the screen because of the UI add-on. But like, you put a melee attack in slot 37. If slot 37 is not in range, then use Death Grip. If you can outbreak, that's like applies your DOTs. Like, I've never played WoW in general, but I've never played... Not only have I never played WoW, I've never played any version of WoW. So like, I go to wowtpc.gg, read the DPS rotation and just copy that into a macro. So if Outbreak is on cooldown, apply Outbreak. And then this is kind of shitty, but we couldn't think of a better way to do it. To cast Dancing Rune Weapon, you need 60 runic power, which is a lot. But Dancing Rune Weapon also triggers the GCD cooldown. So you can't just be like, if it's off cooldown, cast it. Otherwise do Rune Strike. Because Rune Strike and Dancing Rune Weapon are on the GCD. So that you'll have, this only costs 30 runic. So this will always go off, trigger the GCD, and then you'll never cast Dancing Rune Word. Whereas doing it this way, you can't cast Runic unless you have 60, and then Dancing will go off, and then if it's higher than 60, Rune Strike goes off. But obviously you stack up 60 after you've cast this, which just sits there doing nothing. But there's no other way to do this without it just breaking the macro. You just get stuck casting only Rune Strike, and this will never trigger. Because this triggers the GCD, which means this is never off cooldown, and it never gets cast. So this is kind of shitty, but it works. And then your main skills... This is get all your runes. We don't actually use all of them, but we just do... If you've got... I don't know what the runes are called, but if you've got the rune for Death Strike, otherwise Heart Strike, and it works fine, right? So that's the insane DPS macro. And then, because you have a Sunder key, so that's on 1. 2 is your Sunder key. But for the DK doesn't have any Sunder key ability. So his 2 key is the same as his 1 key. So this is just the same macro. And then 3 is your AoE key. So if we go back over here, this is basically the same macro, except you have this Death and Decay. But this is through 4.3.4, so Death and Decay is an AoE target. And at player doesn't exist. It didn't exist until patch 7.1 or something. So if you do cast spell by name Death and Decay, it just puts it on your bar. Like this, but you have to click to make it go off. But to send a click, you then do this line, which is if spell is targeting. If you have a spell on the mouse, trigger this and it clicks. And obviously this prevents, by doing this, it's not just sending clicks whenever you want. I don't know if you remember back in like 1.12, if you send mouse clicks, it just fucks the camera. Like you'll be playing and then all of a sudden the camera goes like this and it's just fucked and you lose window focus and just completely fucks everything up. But by doing this, it doesn't, because the click only goes off if this is on the screen. And I suspect just in this newer client, it just doesn't fuck the game as much. So then you have Outbreak, just as normal, the Dancing Rune, Rune Strike dumb. And then you've got your Death Strike if you can, otherwise, instead of the other strike, I put Pestilence here, because it's an AoE key. And there's no easy way to detect Pestilence. Like, you've got your main target, but you use Pestilence to trigger your shit on other targets which you don't have selected. So there's no way to know if Pestilence is triggered. And it doesn't have a cooldown, and it uses runes. So we just swapped it to, instead of the Heart Strike or whatever the fuck it's called, it's just Pestilence. And it's your AoE key, and it works fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So that's the DK AoE macro. We still haven't put, we don't have Taunt on there, but the game's like different. Like, you don't really need Taunt anymore. Like, Threat is not really an issue anymore. Like, the game's just different. And then we have this was just us testing. We have the CD's key, so that's just Raise Dead, Blood Fury, and using trinkets. And we just said we haven't been fucked to do anything else. We could add Army of the Dead or like if you have a lot of HP or some shit, it doesn't really matter. So that's the DK. We just swap back to this for a second to check something. Oh, never mind. Go back over here. We have the warrior on the screen. Bind pad. So your regular DPS key. Obviously assist to get target, start attack. If you don't have commanding shout, use it. And it's off cooldown. I'm not sure if this matters here. If you're not in melee range, charge, and obviously your arms, so you have the Juggernaut or whatever the fuck, which lets you charge in any stance. And this slot 37, you just put a melee attack, and then it checks if this is in melee. Then automatic Victory Rush, so if you have that buff, use Victory Rush. Auto execute, convert target HP to a percentage. If it's 20%, use execute. Rend. If target doesn't have rend, then this is kind of annoying because you have to be in battle stance. Use rend. If the target has rend, then you can go back to berserker stance. If you have 30 rage, do Mortal Strike. We decided to do this based on mana instead of cooldowns. If he doesn't have the... It's not Colossus Smash removing Sunder? I haven't actually checked. If he doesn't have Colossus Smash and you have extra rage, then use Colossus. And then dump heroic. That's your DPS key. We should leave this like, slightly higher so we can click it. And then your Sunder key is just Sunder. Same shit but only Sunder. And dump heroic. But I find Sunder was falling off. I don't know if it's a bug with the UI. Like the buff just disappears, or are they getting cleansed somehow, or is it getting overwritten by something? I have no idea. Like we've never had this issue in any other version of WoW. So 2 is your Sunder key. And 3 is your AoE key. And obviously I've never played WoW or any version of WoW, so I just copied the rotation from wowtbc.gg, or just simplify it into what I feel makes sense. So the same shit, Commander charge, victory rush. We left Rend on here, which is probably a waste of time, because we don't use the Thunderclap Rend thing. And even if you had that talent, it'd be hard. It's kind of like the Pestilence thing. Like there's no way to know if it's gone off easily. If it has Rend, go back to Zerka. Then if Blade Storm, use that. Sweeping Strikes, use that. Mortal Strike, Colossus Smash, and Cleave. And it seems to work fine. So that's the warrior, and then you have the cooldown. Blood Fury, Deadly Calm, Inner Rage, use Trinket. Oh, we also have this follow. Follow macro is like, because I use hotkey net, you need a macro for follow that triggers this to follow people. So that's Vadia, then the Rogue. Rogue's actually shit because you can't use Fan of Knives without... Can you see this on the screen? Yeah. You need thrown weapon to use Fan of Knives. But he does still keep up in damage. They were dead in some of the time. But this one's pretty simple. This is just auto evasion if your health is less than 50. And evasion's off cooldown, use evasion. Assist to get target. If you don't have overkill, then go into stealth. This is like pre-combat when you're walking over. This is fluff, but I think I have to get rid of this line because he swings melee as soon as he gets in range, which breaks stealth before ambush can go off. But it's fluff anyway, it doesn't really matter. If you don't have slice and dice and you have combo points, then slice and dice. If Cold Blood is off cooldown and you have 5 combo points, then use Cold Blood, like right before you're about to last someone. And then, if you have more than 3, then Envenom, otherwise Mutilate. I don't really like that they added Mutilate because it removes Backstab. Like Backstab's not as good because they made Mutilate. And this is 2, so it's 2 points. So you go 2-4 and then it triggers. Yeah. And because we can't use Fan of Knives, we have no AoE macro. The AoE is just the same macro, so the rogue's pretty simple, like that's it. All three of these are exactly the same. And then we have the cooldowns, which is just Blood Fury, Vendetta, Stringy. That's the rogue. Then we go to the Hunter. Assist, attack, pet attack. If you don't have aspect, then use aspect. Target doesn't have Hunter's Mark, then Hunter's Mark. If you're in kill shot, use kill shot. Target health to a percentage. If you don't have Serpent Sting, Serpent Sting. If you don't have if this is off cooldown, then Explosive Shot. If this is off cooldown, Black Hat. Like they completely changed Hunter. It's not mana anymore, so it's a bit confusing. His action in range 37 is just Raptor Strike. If Raptor Strike is in range, you're in melee, so start walking backwards and cast Raptor Strike. Otherwise, stop walking backwards, because this will just make you walk backwards forever. And then we add another one here, because sometimes you just get stuck walking backwards, and he ends up walking back into packs and mobs and dying. I think that's what happened. So we had another one. If Raptor Strike is not in range, stop walking backwards. And then if you get all the way to the end, you're out of action points, use Cobra Shot. I think there's some pet shit that we could add, but we just haven't been fucked. Like, we're pretty over it at this point. Like, they just add, like, game to like add shit to the game, but it doesn't really enhance the gameplay experience. And then your AoE 2 is the same, and then your AoE is the exact same shit except explosive and multi-shot. Put an explosive trap down, then multi-shot, then explosive shot, and then the auto move backwards shit. And then cooldowns is just berserking, rapid fire, and shrink. And that's the hunt. And then the paladin. I don't think this macro works because it's too long. But sometimes, I don't know, we might have to split this into 2 macros. But it doesn't really matter. But this is just commented out because it's if you needed to use devotion. It's there if you need it. Resistance aura, because the fire absolutely shreks you. Blessing of Kings. Seal of Insight. Target the tank, put Beacon of Light on him. Use divine. Like, I don't like what they did to him. Like, healing, like, we just don't give a shit. Like, there's mana healing, then there's that charges healing. Like, who gives a fuck, man? power charges or some shit, so we just added, if you're less than 80%, use Divine Light. Target the PLAI. Same shit, Warrior, same shit, Rogue, same shit, Hunt. But I'm not sure. I don't know if this macro actually works in this version of WoW. Like, sometimes if macros get too long, like they just stop working. But it's not that big of a deal because most of the time no one's taking damage except the tank or the healer. And then if you get to the end without healing anyone, assist the tank and cast Judgment to get the Judgment buff. And we haven't bothered to implement any sort of AoE healing. Because it doesn't really matter, we can't be fucked. So that's his keys are all the same. And then his cooldowns are just Divine Favor, Aura Mastery, But yeah, in terms of the comp, like we just went the melee comp because once you have interact with target, like you don't want to play non-melee like casters, that's boring. But obviously with the buff stacking, I think this is like the best melee comp you can do. I can't really think of anything that would improve it. Like feral buffs don't stack with PLAI buffs. Like the rogue's kind of shit because you can't use feral for rogues because we don't have pain. This whole thing was one fight. So we're stuck in combat forever. But yeah, that's Cata. I guess now we show how to get this. So you have this website, EmuCoach. I guess, like back in the day, we saw this thing, GitHub. Cata Preservation Project. But at some point, this got archived and will be continued as Cataclysm Classic in Trinity Core. But there's no guarantee that this is... I never checked it, we just can't be fucked in compiling it. Because we just felt lazy. Like, we're only playing this because Thingo got cancelled and we've got some time. Like, we're on holidays. Like, we might be transitioning to oil and gas, but we don't know when. But, so you have EmuCoach, and, like, they offer a free repack, but, we tried the free one, but the free one had bugs in it, like Runic Strike didn't work. So you have to pay to get the VIP one. And I generally wouldn't recommend anyone pays for a repack because when someone's selling a repack, basically 99% of the time they just compiled the open source GitHub and then they're trying to sell a repack, and there's no actual difference between the repack and the open source fucking project, right? Like they're adding nothing of value other than compiling it, and they're selling it. I can't remember, it was like $20. But we couldn't be fucked compiling something that we don't know if it even works. And the free version had bugs, so then we like, fuck it, we'll try the VIP version, and the VIP version fixed the runic strike bug, so there is at least one fix in there, and obviously this dungeon works and Hyjal worked, so maybe it's not that bad, but in general I wouldn't recommend paying for repacks, because again it's just people compiling like the open source and then trying to sell it. So that's that. Now we just want to show how you start it. Fuck, where is it? What did I call it? Emu. E for emu. Put this here on the screen. So if you download the free version or you get the VIP, you'll have these two folders. And then you need to download the DVC maps, vmaps. So the server, a repack is obviously portable, meaning it just runs from the folder, you don't have to do anything. It's just like a program you run, you don't need a supercomputer, you don't need to know anything. So when you run it, you have to set up these two things, like there's a readme, and you need some DLLs from these things, and the VIP version is actually, I can't remember what it is, 64-bit, whereas the free version is 32-bit, so like you need a different version, which is a bit annoying. But the free version has the runic strike bug, so it's not worth using. But anyway, you just run Apache, which is like your database program, then you run the MySQL. I guess we need to get all this on the screen. Apache, MySQL, auth server and the server. So this is the Apache, then you click the MySQL as your database, then you run the auth server. This is a different folder now. That's in here, release. You have to copy, obviously, all this shit in. Then you have to copy some DLLs. And then you have an auth server, your login server, and your world server. And you just run. So, auth server is just this. And then your server is here. And this is where you run commands. There's constant errors going off around the world, but it doesn't really matter, like the thing still works. And that's where you like make accounts and shit. So that's running the repack. It's like, I can't remember, like $20 or something. But we just couldn't be fucked compiling the Trinity core thing just to find out it doesn't work or something. I don't know, I was just lazy. So that's that. That's running the repack, EmuCoach Cata. It seems to work. So I guess the next dungeon is the water thrown to the tides or something. And then, just at the end, we felt like explaining one of our favorite programming memes. Just because it cracks me up. I feel like it's fairly relevant. Is this the high quality one? So like this is the meme, like no one's gonna understand this, but to me it's just fucking hilarious. So like CS 101, this is like computer science 101, like the first programming class you ever do. Like this is code written by a CS 101 student, and like you can see that there's a giant if statement with like multiple returns, and then you have recursion. These are all bad because it's hard to follow what your code is doing when you have a giant if-else if, and then you have multiple returns. And then with recursion on top of that, like recursion is when functions call themselves, which sounds cool, but like if there's any like bugs or errors, it can get really confusing to find what the issue is. And then you have like nesting. Like obviously when you're writing the most basic shit, it doesn't matter, but everything I talk about, it matters when shit gets complicated, right? And like the whole point of this rant is like, do you think Grand Theft Auto rewrite their entire code base for every game? Like there's a reason people use object-oriented code. And there's like a religion, especially when you get like old programmers, and there's a certain company that employs old programmers and they have like a vendetta against object-oriented coding. But then don't be surprised when you have to rewrite everything from scratch every time. You can't test anything. You don't know how to use a debugger. Like, you don't have to use a debugger if you've never written a program that's larger than 1,000 lines in int main, right? Like, you use a debugger when you need to, but if you've never used one, it means you've never written object-oriented code. And object-oriented code is literally jumping across, it could be thousands of source files. There's no way you're going to know where it crashed, man. And a debugger will tell you instantly, down to each line of each class, where it was running. So the next one is code written at a hackathon. So a hackathon, you don't have time to write anything properly, right? You've got a nice switch case, which is more elegant than a giant if-else. But then you'll see they're just returning numbers. There's no code here that actually calculates anything. And you see this comment here, good enough for the demo. So like the code is Fibonacci number sequence. And to demonstrate it, you only need to show the first 5 numbers or whatever. So why even bother write the code that calculates the Fibonacci when you can just write the sequence, because you already know what the answer is. And like this isn't as stupid as you may think, because for example, when 3D graphics was like in its infancy, to calculate like trigonomic functions was way too slow. So it's easier to have what's called a lookup table with the answer to those trigonomic functions and just look up the answer than to calculate it in real time. And that's like, if you remember old 3D games, you might have, you don't rotate the camera in infinite precision, it would like jump in like amounts of like 16 degrees, because you're using a lookup table to simplify the mathematics. So like, instead of calculating 1 plus 1, you would just have a function that I want the answer to 1 plus 1, which is 2. And that function, instead of calculating 1 plus 1, it just returns 2, which is faster if that calculation is way more complex than 1 plus 1. So the calculation is so slow that it's faster to just give you the answer. And like, in a world where we have, you know, gigabytes of memory, like this isn't that stupid, because you can make giant lookup tables. So like, it has its uses. And then like, this is relevant to like Diablo 3 and 4. Like, in Diablo 3 and 4, like the damage numbers are fake, right? Like if you remember the D4 beta, you did like 30 damage, right? And in a few expansions, you've gone from 30 damage to 400 trillion or whatever. Like, even a supercomputer couldn't calculate the damage numbers in D3 or 4. So it's like the same thing, and it'd be such a waste of time. So like, instead of calculating the damage number, you're just adding zeros to the string on the final step. So like, this is what Diablo 3 does and Diablo 4. Like, when it comes to outputting the damage numbers, we take that number of 30 and then write a string of 30, and then we add 15 zeros to that number to make it 400 trillion or whatever. So that's like the meme about that. So then we get to, oh no, this is not this one. This is code written as a startup. And so a startup is like, you know, a brand new coding project where you'll have like one like senior guy, and then you have a bunch of new people, like CS grads. And if you look here, you'll see that the code here is exactly the same as the CS 101 code. But they've added all these like stupid comments, and like no one's gonna understand. Like, you write comments to like, for like to do's or like shit that to do, I need to stuff that I need to do to the code. But obviously the context here is code that's so basic that is also the same as this code here. So even though they're employed, they're still coding in the same shitty, because this is like their first job and you've never actually learned how to code. And then you write way more comments than necessary. Like, should this throw an exception? Like, no one even knows what that is, but like the transition from like your shitty computer science assignment coding to like coding in an actual company. Like, to do, spend some time with my family and kids. I've been at work for over 40 hours straight, even though this is the shittest code ever. Like, it's just funny. Like, no one's gonna understand that work-life balance. And then this is my favorite. This is at a large company. So this is object-oriented code. So like, you have slightly more useful comment, but you'll see public custom integer get Fibonacci function, which creates an object builder equals another object builder factory. Like, no one's gonna understand what this means, but like, in object-oriented code, you have these giant things called objects which do things for you. And instead of writing actually, you'll see there's no code here that does anything. This is just code. Like, this is a meme, but like, there's no code here that does any sort of calculation. You're just calling and building these giant complicated object-oriented objects. Why? Because you've already written the code ages ago. It's in your database, your code base. And now when you need that code, you just build one of these objects that does everything for you. So like this is a meme, but like there's a point to it. Like, oh, I need to get the Fibonacci number. I don't need to write the code from scratch. I've got a system in place to create this complicated object that builds the thing that I've already written to do it. And you can see, you know, you've got a constructor, you've got like all these parameters, you've got, you know, if builder, error state, you know, throw new exception. Like Fibonacci, you've got your data view builder, constructor of the object. Then you have your data build, your data viewer of the object. So it's another class on top of the like. No one's like, if this scares you, like you're just limiting yourself as a coder. Like this shouldn't scare you. Like when you're a noob, this can look scary. Like you've got custom objects building stuff. But like the whole point of this is that when it comes time to do something, you don't have to write something from scratch. It's sitting there waiting for you. And then the final step is return the data view object of like, you know, the next Fibonacci number. But like this is object-oriented code. So like if you think, again, we already said, do you think Grand Theft Auto, like, do you think they rewrote the code from scratch every iteration of Grand Theft Auto? Like there's a reason object-oriented code works, man. But then you've got code written by a math PhD. Like no one's gonna understand this either, but this is like, you have someone who doesn't know anything about coding, but like they're good at math, so they just invent this idiotic bunch of functions because they can. And they think they're being really smart when they're just wasting time. But it's just funny. So like you've got like, you know, like idiotic functions like adding numbers together, like defining, like mathematicians like to, what's that word? I've forgotten the word. Not proof, but like, I've forgotten the word when you get the base, you define the base of whatever it is you're talking about. So that's just, this is just stupid. Like, and then obviously code written by your cat is just a meme. If kittens of the world are not united, return kittens of the world. Else return kittens of the world minus not united and add the one that's united. It's funny, but no one's gonna understand. So that's just like my favorite coding meme. So I guess we'll leave it there. But yeah, we're just rambling at this point, but I find it hilarious. So yeah, I don't know, like, I would not recommend working in software, but if this interests you, like, it's not that hard. It just sucks as a job, and there's really not that much interesting going on in it. But yeah, until the next time, I guess.